My name is Michael Pashut and I'm the proud owner of Change Cars and the host of the TV show All Things Motoring. But I'm even prouder today to say that I work with Alan Rosenmeyer from Motor Matters, better known as the man with a hat. If you're looking for the best reviews on all new vehicles, Motor Matters. If you're looking for the best deals on new or used cars, changecars.co.za, where every car is sold by a 5-star rated manufacturer approved dealer.
Just a couple of weeks ago, we had the new Mercedes GLC on test. Also went on the launch, which you'll have seen the video. And by now you'll have seen the video on the 300 diesel. Well, this is the entry model to the range, and it's so difficult to call a car like this an entry model. But it's the baby brother being the 220 diesel. Now, you can see, for example, this one doesn't have the AMG line grille, which the AMG line grille has the hundreds of little three-pointed stars. This is the more standard grille, can I call it? It's a matter of choice, it's a matter of taste, it's a matter of what you like. I don't think it makes that much difference. Of course, behind this massive three-pointed star is all your tech for your adaptive cruise controls, adaptive safety, all your cameras, everything are hidden behind this massive three-pointed star these days. Do you come around the side over here? And from the exterior, there is so little difference between the models. You've got very typical Mercedes 19-inch alloy wheels over here. They look really, really smart. You'll get different ones. You'll get the AMG line ones. Again, with cars like this, you know you can spec what you want. You can put on so much or delete. Obviously, it depends on your budget, which is the most important. But you've got keyless entry, obviously keyless start. Let's open up the back door. Before we do, you've got this running board over here. Very small little running board, and I must be honest, for someone vertically challenged like I am, sometimes those little ones can just be a little bit awkward getting particularly out of the car. But again, it's up to you, and you've got to spec it as you want. You just get into the back seat and tell you that, allowing for the fact that this car has what they term comfort access. So in other words, the driver's seat is actually moved further back to allow me easier entry and egress. I've still got tons of space in the back, and it would move forward a fair amount when I start up the engine. So that is very, very useful and very nice. You've got air vent controls over here, as you would expect. And down below over there, you've got two USB-Cs. Remembering that Mercedes seem to be favoring USB-C at the moment. But look, tech is going that way. You do have a little adapter that they always seem to give us in the media cars. So that makes it useful. But I've got tons of space to stretch out. Headroom is pretty good, and it's got the massive, extra large panoramic roof on this car. You can see I've got the cover closed at the moment, but look how far it comes, right over the rear seat passenger's head. But everything is here, everything you can want. And don't ever forget, of course, Mercedes ambient lighting, which I think offers you a choice of something like 64 colors. And of course, you can use the voice activation to change colors whenever you want. You come round to the rear of the car. It looks really neat. It does have, of course, the auto tailgate. Really, really large boot area. I can tell you without even jumping in today, this is a 2-Allen boot without any measure of doubt. And you, of course, have features like, have a look here, little tug on there and kapow, if you want to drop the back seats. I think I've said before, make sure mother-in-law's not sitting there when you do it, because it's quite strong and powerful. And, oh wow, for a Mercedes, we've got a spare wheel on this one. Maybe a space saver, but it actually has a spare wheel. And that's the battery technology over there, which powers your EQ, your mild hybrid, as I think they would like to term it on this car, giving you little extra boosts of power that, I have to be honest, I don't even understand, but all I know is there's enough power at the best of times anyway, so you really don't have to worry. You can set the height for the tailgate where it stops, because you saw it was a bit of a stretch for me. Now, I said to you, this is the GLC 220 diesel. What's very, very interesting is the 220 and the 300 both use the same 2-litre turbo diesel engine, just different turbo boost, different power outputs. So you get 162 kilowatts and 440 Newton meters of torque out of this one. And check, driving through all four wheels as an all-wheel drive system, of course, a 9-speed automatic gearbox. Again, very standard Mercedes. You know what to expect, you know what you're going to get with that. You've still got two mean-looking tailpipes over there as well. Just if you want to look at them, I think more for effect than anything else. Okay, so let's jump inside, have a look, and also see it on the road. Cruising out on the freeway Sunday, Motormatters road trip, and what a pleasure to be driving a car like a Mercedes GLC 220 diesel. 162 kilowatts, 440 Newton meters of torque, plus a little bit of EQ magic, as Mercedes would put it. I don't get the numbers that they add to it, but it's there. It gives you a bit of overboost, gives you a bit of extra boost when you really need it, as if you do with that kind of power. But what it does give you is 6.3 litres per 100 kilometers overall figure that we've achieved, including our urban commuting as well. But of course, being a GLC, being a Mercedes, it is spec to the hilt. It's got everything. It's got this massive tablet screen over here that gives you all the functions. It's got the voice command system, which I'm not going to use now, but you know what I'm talking about. It just feels so solid, particularly on a cruise on the open road. You know it's solid. You know what you've got underneath you. You know, I know what I've got under my right foot as well. Those are the things that really count and that really are important. You've obviously got every kind of active safety feature that you could possibly want as well. It may cost, but believe me, you're getting your money's worth in a car like this as far as I'm concerned. And it's the old saying, you get what you pay for. The smooth ride, the comfort, the cruising ability. This road's not perfect, it's not smooth, yet we are just cruising along in sheer luxury. Starting off behind the wheel, you know what you're going to expect. You've seen this before. I'm not going to spend too much time, but I want to show you that, because that to me is so incredibly impressive. 662 kilometers done on this test, quite a bit. Good mix of open road and urban, and look at that, 6.1 liters per 100. Trying to remember the 300 diesels figure, I think it was between upper sixes or just touching 7. So that's a significant difference in fuel consumption. You do still get flappy paddles for that, which I still hate, and I will always hate, and I will carry on hating. That stalk for the gear shift on Mercedes. You've of course got your adaptive cruise control, which you set with the haptics switches on the steering wheel, and of course all your sound system, etc. on the side. This is what you expect. I'm not going to spend too much time. You've got this sort of carbon fiber effect throughout the car as well, which looks really good. And of course you've got 3 memories, heating, and there's your adjustment for both driver and passenger. Get adjustment on the door panel over there for the seats. These are things you expect, so I'm not going to spend too much time on them. But of course, some of the magic happens when you come across to the center, because you've got the gigantic tablet screen over here, which tilts marginally towards the driver, and it really is effective and works so incredibly well. And of course, it gives you absolutely everything you can possibly want. Again, you know what to expect. There are no surprises, so I'm not going to spend time. It just gives you everything. But what I do like as well is over here, just below there. First of all, that's a volume control. Okay, it is just a haptic, but there's your volume control for your entertainment. And on this side, of course, is the slightly magical button as well that you press to go to sport, individual, and comfort as I've run it, and eco. And there's even an off-road setting. As you can see, maximum speed 110 kilometers an hour. Now this is where the 4MATIC comes in and just gives you extra safety, extra comfort, extra everything you may possibly ever want. You know all about this. You've got this nice console over here. Now, I always complain about the stalk for the automatic shift, but what it does do, of course, is free up this area here. You've got a inductive charger down there for your cell phone. You've got a USB over there, a USB-C as well, good cup holders, and of course inside here you've got another 2 USB-Cs. So they certainly provide plenty of those for you, and you know, again, you're going to be connected in this car. And of course you've got all your connectivity in any case that you could ever want, so it's all there for you. Space plenty. I've mentioned the panoramic roof. It's got the, I'm not going to go into it, but it's got the voice activation as well. Again, it's standard now on the brand. Let's simply leave it at that. So what does it come down to? The difference between the 220 and the 300 in the diesels, 162 kilowatts to 215. That's a big difference, yes. 440 Newton meters to 550, a decent difference. Same transmission, same adaptable, same everything else. About 200,000 Rand price difference. And that's pretty material. Because this one, in standard, and I use that in base format, will cost you about the 1.2 million Rand mark. The full-on AMG version is 1.3, and it's 1.5 in the 300 diesel. So that's something you can decide. I'll tell you now that as far as I'm concerned, we took a good road trip in the car. This one's got more than enough power for everyday use, for cruising, for going on holiday, for anything like that that you may want. It's certainly never lacking. But for some people, enough is never enough. So that is something you need to think about for yourself. I can't answer. You know the competition, you know there are options out there on the market. Again, if you're brand loyal, you're brand loyal. If you want the quality, and I've got to tell you, this car feels quality every inch of the way. But it's always up to you. For Motor Matters, I'm Alan R. I'll see you next time.